had a rather interesting retail shopping experience the other day, and it got me thinking about what are our communities going to be like, and our relationships with our small businesses going to be like in the months ahead, the months and years ahead. So the story is, I was doing a bunch of errands to buy stuff for dinner. I went to this one location where I had to pick some particular goods for the meal, and I go to walk into the store, and I haven't been to this location in like 2 years, not for any particular reason, just haven't been there in 2 years, but I know about it. I'd been there before, so I haven't been there pre-pandemic. And I go in, and I can see sort of in my peripheral vision that there's people in there, employees in there, so the store's open, and I go to walk in, and suddenly I can't. Like, I just press on the door and it's locked, and then the door's kind of like weird. I go, what's going on with this door? And I realize there's a cutout in it. And wait a second, this is a pickup only window. The sort of stuff that we saw back in the winter, back in like February, when a lot of retail outlets were closed, other than, pharmacies and grocery stores and so forth. In Ontario, they were closed. And these other types of places, like I was shopping at, only open for curbside pickup. But then most other businesses are in fact open for you to walk around into right now in Ontario. I mean, we're not in lockdown. There's restrictions and rules. Some people don't like many of them, and well, some people want tighter ones, but we're not in lockdown in Ontario right now. And I'm like, what on earth is going on here? And I was kind of like a little caught off guard. And then an employee right away comes up to the window, and they're like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, okay, I'll have this or that. And, I pay and so forth. And after I'm done paying, I actually see there's a sign that's right up there at the sort of door/window, the service window, that says you still must wear a mask right now. Meaning I was supposed to have worn a mask outdoors while interacting between a glass door with this person. I was like, what? So I guess broken their rule. I didn't realize, I didn't read the sign before I went up and spoke to the person, and they never actually asked me to put on the mask. But I was like, that is so weird. All of this is very weird. There's a few establishments like that in this particular neighborhood that are actually doing this, not open for in-store shopping. And I texted one of my friends who lives in that area. I wasn't that close to the area, but I knew he lived closer, so he knew the streets more. And I was like, what's the deal with this? Have they always been like this? And he was like, yup, that's these couple businesses in that area. And I'm like, I don't feel good about this, because the whole fact, the sign that comes from them being closed like that to in-person shopping is they are saying it's not safe. It's not good. You're going to get COVID here, and the proper thing is to close up the shop. I'm not sure their exact reasons for doing that. I didn't ask them, and there's no sign spelling out why they're doing it that way. But, I mean, that probably is the reason. I mean, it's got to be to do with COVID. And I don't like that, because it spreads concerns, fear. It foments a bit of hysteria to suggest that, in general, it is not safe to go into these stores, and that could have a ripple effect and a damaging effect and a psychological impact on people who are like, oh, maybe this shop's onto something that the others aren't. Maybe they should all be closed and so forth. So I don't really want to go to this store anymore. I don't feel good about this in case they do sort of precipitate more going in this direction. Like, by all means, I guess if that's the way you want to conduct your business, that's your right. But we've fought so much, we've come so far to get things reopened, and this place won't reopen for whatever reason. And I'm like, I just don't want anything to do with this. But then I imagine there are a few people who are like, this store is the true hero. They should be doing all of this. And they are putting health first, and those people will frequent that place more. And I'm going to frequent that place less. I'm not going to go there, because I just feel really odd about the fact that happened. And this stuff's going to linger for a while. People are going to remember their experiences. I mean, years before, pre-pandemic, you remember when you got poor customer service at this one store and you're not going back. And I think we're going to have similar views in the years ahead about these different establishments in our neighborhoods, whether we felt they went the right way or the wrong way when it came to their perspectives and advocacy for COVID rules. How is that going to play out, in the future? I think it's going to be very interesting to see, because I did not feel good about what that store did, sending a signal that it was unsafe for me to go in there for 90 seconds or what have you. So I'm not going there again.